Hi guys, I'm sorry if you cannot hear me. I do not have my microphone, so I do have to yell more than normal here, especially with all this traffic. So right now I'm going to the Benaroya Hall basically to pick up my will call tickets to get the tickets to see Final Fantasy Distant Worlds. So right now we're gonna go to will call and pick up my tickets. This is gonna be kind of cool. So let's open up the door here as we go to the ticket office. Here we go. We're going in the door right now. Yay. Okay, and here we are in the ticket office where I'm gonna pick up my tickets. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just brought my ticket. Here's my ticket, if you can see. Oh, it's going the wrong way. Here. Oh, it's going the wrong way again. Very bad at this. Oh, apparently, it says Distant World, if you can see it. There we go. Okay, so obviously the performance is not today. So, well, I'll give you a review on probably Sunday and tell you how the show goes. If you just want to take a look around here, I'll put it in unselfie mode here. So this is what Benaroya Hall looks like. Gonna make sure not to take anyone here. Hi, so I normally don't run late at all, but I only have about 30 minutes, 20 minutes to eat before the concert, so I'm just gonna grab some fast food here. As you can see, you know, we have some, what do we have here? We've got some fries here, and then we got this awesome sub here. See if you can look at it. Yep, there we go. Strange camera angle. So I'm just gonna go ahead and eat it now. Well, I need to make a correction. This is my first time to a concert here. Actually, first time to a concert, period. So I hope it goes great, and let's go inside now. Yay. All right. Oh. Quite a few people here. Check out the crowd. All right, so I'm in Benaroya Hall, and we're just looking at the crowd here to see what type of people are going to show up here today. I have no clue where I'm going, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it looks like everyone's going over this way. People showing up. See if they have anything here to buy today. Taking a look at the crowd. Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. Hi you guys doing? So, as you can see, I did make it into the auditorium, even though it was only 15 minutes before the show time of 8 o'clock. So I hope the composer, Nobuo Uematsu, who's the composer of Final Fantasy 1 through 10, shows up. So I'll give you a review by the time that the show ends. So you probably will not see the review for the next 3 or 4 days, but if it's up earlier, then that's great. So again, I'm fired up, and I hope this show goes great. C-H-O-C-O-B-O do. All right, that's enough of that. Don't want to get screwed for copyright, you know what I mean? Anyway, so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm obviously here to review, or kind of tell my opinion about Final Fantasy Distant Worlds. First thing off, though, is I'm always excited to see people, how do I say this, people who are unfamiliar with the music of Final Fantasy, and they actually become impressed with video games. For example, my mom, you know, when I told her that I'm going to a symphony, she was impressed, right? Because I never been to the symphony, and a lot of, it's kind of, well, at one time it was considered an upper class thing to do. It's really no longer upper class, but it's still kind of, I'll just say, formal, except here in Seattle, okay? As you noticed, there were apparently some people were wearing shorts, apparently. So, not here in Seattle, I came in, black jeans and a black t-shirt thinking, that was the dress code. And, that's what the box office guy told me. But maybe that's something they want to aim for. But, so that's exactly what I did. Black shirt and black jeans, or, but apparently not everybody. You want to know why? Because this is Final Fantasy. That's why. And, it's going to be a different crowd, okay? It's going to be a different crowd that the usual symphony people are used to. Because you're not listening to Tchaikovsky or Beethoven. You're not listening to that. You're basically you're listening to the music of a couple composers of Nobuo Uematsu. I'm sorry if I butchered your name incorrectly. I'm sorry if I butchered your name and said it incorrectly. And there's also the composer of the other Final Fantasies, such as Final Fantasy 13. But, it's always a different crowd. And, the one thing that I can do during this type of crowd is I can put my yeahs in. Because generally when I go to the theater or see a musical, I don't do that. But I know when it comes to video games, you're going to be dealing with a whole different crowd. So I gave myself permission to give some yeahs in. I could hear some people laughing when I actually said that, all those yeah. So, yeah, and talking about the crowd here, even the main conductor, Arnie, he said that, yeah, we just announced Final Fantasy VII was coming out, and, the remake was coming out, and then it just, it just got spammed all over the internet, and it just became a very big thing, and that's the power of the internet for you, You just say one thing, and it just goes all over the place. But, that's the cool thing about, going to a Distant Worlds concert, is that you will get a different crowd. You're not going to get the usual crowd that you would get as if you were just going to Tchaikovsky or, Beethoven. So, let's mention some other things here. One of the very first songs was Vidos Vinosek. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Vidos Vinosek. All right. When they started the music, I thought it was kind of soft, to tell you the truth. I'm like, the strings need to be a little louder. But then again, I thought about it. If you listen to some of the soundtracks of Final Fantasy VIII, it kind of does start out a little softly and get big, and that's exactly what they did. So maybe it was better that they did that way, because once they got to the drum sections, oh my gosh, those drums were loud, man, and that's that's one cool thing about Final Fantasy music is, the string section and, the big drums. A person behind me was impressed by the fake opera, Maria and Draco. That was one of the, I think it was like the second to last, or probably like third to last bit they did, or song they did. And and of course Arnie was mentioning how they wanted to basically expand that whole opera. And of course, when they brought the scenes from Final Fantasy VI and they, put that on the screen, with a fake conductor in his 8-bit, of course, you're going to get the laughs. So I think that was absolutely cool that, that some people probably will be brought into the world of Final Fantasy, and they will want to maybe even purchase the games. So, I love Maria and Draco. It's a great fake little opera. Okay, speaking about animations, another animation that was kind of silly, that was from Final Fantasy VI, is the theme of, I hope I'm saying this right, Kefka. Now, I haven't played Final Fantasy VI a whole lot, but yeah, I know it's one of the best ones, but I just know that because that's what the fans say, that it's the best one. But yeah, it probably does have a good story, and I'm not lying. I do have the Super Nintendo cartridge for that game, actually. So I'm not lying. I have played it. But yeah, Kefka. That's that scary clown-looking guy. Yeah, that scary-looking clown guy. Yeah, they played his theme too, and when the animations when they came up on the board, a lot of people were like, because I guess it's kind of it's nostalgic, but at the same time, it's amazing to see how from like Final Fantasy VI to Final Fantasy X that we've gone so far in animation. I mean, not we, because I'm not, part of that company, but I'm part of the enjoyment. I'm part of the audience. So it's amazing how, from Final Fantasy VI, you have these 8-bit games, and then you jump to something like Final Fantasy X, and, you have Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII is kind of in the middle, but, when they showed Kefka and his little animations and stuff moving around, and his silly little laugh, I'm not even going to try to copy that laugh because, I can't do it. I have my own laugh. And also from Final Fantasy VI was the theme of Terra. And it may be a little cliche, but yes, they showed that little bit at the beginning of 6 with the Magitech armor, you know, do 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 do. Yeah, okay, enough copyright issues. Okay, I'm probably not even singing the correct notes. And you know, it actually a lot of the songs actually do follow the CD Distant Worlds 3. A lot of the concert was based probably on Distant Worlds 3. But it's not 100% like that. For example, I was kind of disappointed that we did not get to hear Answers. That's one of my favorite songs, and I was kind of disappointed that, you know, I didn't get to hear it or see it live performed. But I think, you know, when they played Maria and Draco, I think that probably was, I think that evened it out. You know, I kind of actually like the pop songs, you know, like Melodies of Life and Kiss Me Goodbye. Those are actually on the CD for Distant Worlds 3, but they were not in the Distant Worlds concert that I saw. But, you know, the replacements of One Winged Angel, I think that may be even, you know, for a Distant Worlds concert, that may be even become cliche, but, you know, it's probably one of the best pieces, you know, around, you know, besides, you know, Vito's Vinosec, you know, One Winged Angel's probably like one of the best orchestrations probably for a Final Fantasy game. Maybe even, not, you know, maybe even it's one of the best pieces for video game history, period. I mean, I can't back that up with evidence, you know, so if you're a big video gamer and you can actually back that statement up with evidence, more power to you. So yeah, so Final Fantasy VII. Oh, the one thing cool about the Distant World thing is they said everyone was excited when when Arnie the conductor was like, we decided to give Final Fantasy IX some more love. So they played the song Roses of May. Sorry, not Roses of May. I forget the song, but it has something to do with roses, and it's not Melodies of Life, okay? It has something to do with roses. It's a very medieval theme, you know. It's very fantasy cliche, but I really enjoyed it. The other song that they played from Final Fantasy IX would be the Not Alone. And Not Alone is, that's another one of my favorite songs from the Final Fantasy soundtrack is Not Alone. And I guess because I have the soundtrack to Final Fantasy IX, I'm kind of used to that, to the strumming of I'm not sure if it's a guitar that plays in the background on the soundtrack, or if that's a different type of instrument, or if that's a banjo. And I don't think that's a banjo playing in the soundtrack, but it's some sort of string instrument, right? It's, you know. So when it came to the Distant Worlds version, you know, the orchestrated version, the guitar or the string banjo, whatever you call it, was not presented that way. It was more played in more like a classical piece. And still, you know, it's, as a classical piece, it's still a jaw-dropping piece, you know. When you see pictures of Zidane and you see pictures of, oh gosh, I lost. Garrett, that's her name, Garrett, yeah. When you see pictures of Garrett on the screen, you kind of just want to cry too. So, yeah, Final Fantasy IX, ladies and gentlemen, that was kind of cool to see. And, you know, I think Nobuo Uematsu actually considers Final Fantasy IX to be one of his greatest works, and I would agree with that. You know, it may, as for story, yeah, it may be cliche, but you don't need much to, impress Derek McCain here. You know, all you need is a fancy, it's really weird, to tell you the truth. In a video game, I love a love story, but in a regular cinema movie, I hate love stories. It's really, really weird, you know? I hate romantic movies. Well, I won't say hate, but, I very, very rarely go to a romantic movie, But for some reason, it's just like, when it comes to pieces like Suriki Dane, gosh, my Japanese is totally terrible. That's you just want to get emotional. However, they did not place Suteki Dane. So I was kind of hoping they would, but again, they did not. But when you only have like a couple hours or a couple hours and a half, you can only play so much music. Although to tell you the truth, if they did a 3-hour version of Distant Worlds, hey, I'd see a 3-hour version. Why not? I mean, maybe not the everyday person would want to see a 3-hour version of Distant Worlds, but hey, I'd sit there for 3 hours, and if there was a 3-hour version,